ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside McGonigal Hall. Kevin Kopp, Christina Chauvenet with you. We've got Thursday afternoon gymnastics. Thanks for spending part of your weekday or your workday with us, as it may be. And Christina, we've got a really exciting quad. I think when you look top to bottom at the talent here, this may be the best collection of teams assembled in the modern history of Temple Gymnastics here in McGonigal Hall. To see Temple, Penn, Maryland, and NC State on the floor this afternoon, this is going to be a real treat to kick us off into a March weekend of gymnastics.
Absolutely. You know, March Madness is not just for basketball. We've got it for gymnastics as well, and some really interesting regional implications here for NC State and Maryland, and also some individuals for Penn and Temple that are vying for regional qualification as well. Of course, with those conference championships down the road, and each team in here in a different conference, which is quite exciting, but they're also looking to peak at that time.
That's absolutely right. You've got conference championship week just 2 weeks away. This is a double meet weekend for a lot of these teams, and you're absolutely right. This is all right now about fine-tuning and stacking scores. We'll get into some of the nitty-gritty on the NQS, but you start with Maryland and NC State, two teams that right now are they're in the field. Maryland, it's a little interesting because they come in number 36, the last spot in the official rankings, but the most up-to-date rankings, they're actually sitting in 37 in the daily rankings. So if the season ended at this very moment, they're on the outside looking in, but they've got a terrific opportunity. They've got a couple of low 195 scores that they can drop. If they can put up a big score here on the road especially, they stand to shoot up and really solidify their position in the field.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, really the cards are in Maryland's hands because they've got a bunch of double meet weekends. They've got a couple double meet weekends coming up, and they've got all road meets. Yep. So they have an opportunity to improve on that. And, you know, for NC State, a little bit of a different situation. They've had such a phenomenal season, very secure in that regionals bucket. The question to me is, can they get up some of those 197s and push for one of those seeded spots? Absolutely. It's possible.
Yep. And you know what? NC State, they're never going to feel too comfortable because of what happened to them a few years back. You'd want to get into the teens and make sure that there's
hardcore gym fans know what we're talking about.
There's no tomfoolery going on with the play and assignments, but we are going to get it underway. Folks, we're going to be in a quad box all afternoon. You are not going to miss a single routine of competition, and we will start with NC State. Meg Adler leads off the meet on beam, and for Temple, Amelia Budd will get the meet started on ball.
And Victoria Gatzendorfer will get things started for Maryland on bars.
A good Yurchenko layout full to begin the meet for Amelia Budd, and unfortunately Adler having to take an early fall, so not the start that NC State wanted on beam.
And some leg separation in the Maloney-Pack combo from Gatzendorfer, but this dismount is the highlight for me. The Stalter work, nice job there into the double back. Sinks her heels in. She's really honed that landing over the season. Anna Kennefic getting set to go for Penn on floor.
Meanwhile, Adler getting ready for her dismount to finish up. Gainer full off the side, just a small shuffle there, but unfortunate start for NC State. They're going to face the pressure right away. You know, when you get these quad meet assignments, you know you've got to start on beam, go out there, and it's such a make or break. And I know, Christina, every team has to deal with it at some point today, but NC State going to be tested right off the jump here.
But they have a lot of really experienced athletes later in the lineup.
Second vault now is Peyton Monk, another Yurchenko layout, a little piked in that landing and a small hop back, but good block, good distance off the table. Monk is a really exciting freshman for Temple. We're going to see her on 3 events this afternoon as Anna Kennefic gets the afternoon started for Penn on floor.
And we've got both Kennefics on floor for Penn this afternoon. And Tasha Brzezowski getting started for Maryland on bars. I mean, getting started second up, excuse me.
Just waiting on that first bar score to come in for Maryland. It looks like it has, and be ready to go there.
Nice control out of that double pike for Kennefic. little shy on that bail to handstand on the low bar for Brzezowski, but nice Jaeger to open the routine. And Brzezowski's really been nailing these double layouts just to scoot back, but another really solid routine for Maryland. And I think that might be the best I've seen her do, that 1.5 to front full. Nice height in the front full.
All right, and up second on beam for NC State is going to be Macy Jennings. Pressure routine, obviously, trying to follow that opening fall from Meg Adler. Meanwhile, up third for Temple on vault, Hannah Weckler. This time a Yurchenko layout half. You see a little hop forward on the landing for Weckler. All 995 start values for Temple. Yurchenko layout fulls and Yurchenko layout halves in their lineup. So we get a triple series over on beam, very well controlled for Jennings, who's had a season high 9.9 score on beam.
And working through this routine really confidently.
Little balance check off to the side on the side aerial there.
But really took her time in that correction. And I really like to see that, especially following a fall, to not get impatient.
And a good stuck dismount as well. So nice recovery by NC State, exactly what they wanted from Jennings. They got it. And a good hit. They'll hope for 4 more as we go back to bars now for Maryland Sierra Conda.
And she's got a really big, pretty Jaeger here. Oh, love the stretch. Legs together in the shoot over to low bar. Can't ask for anything better there. They are going for these handstands. Just that little slide back, but pretty in the air.
Fourth vault for Temple is Summer Ruski. Big Yurchenko layout full.
Wow.
That hung in the air for a long time. Wasn't able to quite spot that landing. I thought she might have been able to bring that in for a stick. Looked like she almost had time to flare it out a little bit, but that is a very impressive vault. Probably the best of the 4 we've seen from Temple.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'd really like to see judges across the board be rewarding those dynamics more in NCAA. So much focused on the landing. Yeah, she didn't stick it, but really had those superior dynamics compared to some of the earlier vaults in the lineup.
Up second for Penn after an opening 9.775 for Anna Kennefic. This will be Zara Gazdak. And ready to go up third for NC State. Over on beam is Katie Harper.
And Gazdak, this big front through to double back. Great control out of that.
A leap combination there by Harper. Back handspring layout step out, no problem on the series.
What I like that I'm seeing from NC State is they're still attacking all of these skills despite that opening fall. Really good sign.
Cat leap switch side.
And Emma Silverman getting set to go from Maryland here. Back in the all-around this afternoon.
Renee Shugman on the vault for Temple. Yurchenko layout full and didn't get quite that block off the table. Had to take a little stutter step on the landing.
Nice Ginger from Silverman. Just a little extra slide on that double pike for Gazdak, but she's so powerful.
A nice punch front full dismount from Harper. Landing, landing, landing there.
Yeah, exactly. This is the fun part of the quad. And, you know, Maryland not quite at Gatzendorfer had that stuck landing in the first position. Haven't quite gotten those landings on bars. They're coming off a huge 197.3 on the road at Yale on Sunday, where they stuck just about every bars dismount, I think.
Yeah, we've talked about the path forward for Maryland having so much room to improve because they're still carrying 2 195 scores in their NQS. Coming off of that 197, they've got 4 more chances all on the road, so a chance to really rock it up if they can continue to bring some of the form that they found last week.
Yeah, again, that 195.525, the number they're looking to drop. Shout out to Jenna King and our friends at College Gym News for all the resources. If you're a stats nerd like Kevin and I are, they break down all the regional scenarios.
Mackenzie Aresta in the anchor position for Temple on vault. Better control there, a little hop back with 2 feet together. Good height and distance off the table for Aresta, but Temple not able to find that super clean vault lineup where as you turn the calendar into March, Christina, the conventional wisdom is that this is where you want to start to spot some of those landings. Didn't quite see that from Temple 1 through 6 here as Lex Ortega is up 4th on the beam now for NC State.
And I've been looking forward to commentating this routine. So stunning this series. The only one doing it in NCAA. The back handspring, a nodie. So controlled. Unbelievable. Alexa Rothenbuscher getting started for Maryland here. Rothenbuscher coming off a career high 9.925. Nice floaty Jaeger to the overshoot there. And Ortega, that front handspring, she just got so many unique elements. Rothenbuscher hangs on to that dismount as Sarah Kennefick gets started. Lex Ortega does the switch split into the gainer pike. Just great gymnastics side by side. 2.5 punch front from Kennefick. She is a twister.
We will have exhibition routines from every team, I believe, on every event this afternoon, or at least scheduled for such. And Madison Durunda be up for Temple.
Front double full, just a little bit under rotated there. But Penn coming out really aggressive on floor. You know, I had the privilege of commentating the Ivy Classic a couple weeks ago. Penn hosted, had their 3rd highest score in program history, 195.8. And when I talked to the coaching staff before the meet, they said, you know, on the road at Texas women didn't quite reach that level. They're looking for them to be more aggressive this week. Rhea LeBlanc here on bars for Maryland. Nice Jaeger to open. She's a little shy on that handstand.
And over on beam now, trying to keep the momentum going, Emily Shepard.
Stick straight double layout for LeBlanc.
Oh, beautiful leap combination there from Shepard.
It's just what I love about her work. Current NC State all-around record holder, we should say, though we will not see her in the all-around this afternoon. Just the extension throughout all the elements, the split. Look at this in the series. The extension she has. You know, you often see some soft knees in series, things like that. Not from Emily Shepard.
You got this power trio of Ortega, Shepard, and DeGreedy at the end here to close out this beam rotation.
So confident in that aerial. And even there, she was a little bit off in that split half, but just kind of finessed the landing, took her time with it. She's one of those athletes I'm so glad we got to see another year of her in NCAA gymnastics because she is special.
Boy, they have really just improved with every successive routine, and One more hit away from dropping that early fall, and doing so with a bang. Excellent job by NC State here. Maryland exhibition over on bars.
Lindsay Batchelor here. She's a little shaky on that bail to handstand, but hangs on to it. Marissa Lassiter getting started for Penn. And Maryland really did a nice job in the back half of that lineup getting those landings.
And as things start to slow down a little bit here midway through rotation number 1, we'll have the chance to catch up on some scores, and we can report that Maryland has opened with a very impressive 49-350 on bars, just a half-tenth off of their season best.
A nice control from Lassiter on that double pike. Chloe Negretti on beam for NC State. Smooth in that aerial to back handspring connection as Lassiter wraps up. Great performance quality from Lassiter. Controls a double pike, which she's had a little bit of trouble keeping under control this season, so nice to see that.
All right, very important routine here for NC State.
And as you mentioned, the back three in this lineup, you know, they contribute, these three super seniors contribute a lot of routines across this NC State lineup, and they've all been really consistent for them, particularly on beam. Chloe, just one of those really sturdy competitors. And I love that she goes for this double full. Little hop, but I love the difficulty. You don't see very many people doing the double full dismount anymore in NCAA.
Well, and a really, I mean, if you want to kind of wake up your team here with an early afternoon start, fall on beam, hit 5 in a row, and not just hit, but all 5 of those scores are going to be 985 or above. Obviously, to wait for Chloe's to come in here, but that was really a great response, and I'm sure something that Coach Landris and NC State have to be thrilled to see here, facing a little bit of adversity and handling it, and now you get to move on to the next.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what all the coaches talk about, how they want their lineup to respond when there is adversity. Just go out, do your job, regardless of the routine in front of you, and that's exactly what they did. So all wrapped on vault and bars, and just an exhibition for NC State.
Speaking of shout-outs that we have to give, Christina, one of the best in terms of stats and analytics, our friend Drew Porsche, Talent Stats, over on Twitter. 49-350 for Maryland, ties for 5th best in the history of their program.
Wow. And yeah, such a great resource. Thank you, Drew.
Yes.
Sky Carrico getting started here. Probably the best gymnast in the GEC right now in the all-around, I would say. And she's in contention for a regional all-around spot if she can put up some big numbers over the next few weeks.
Great opportunity here, and a gymnast you definitely want to watch. Meanwhile, Sophia Obregon in an exhibition over on beam for NC State.
Nice height on that layout step out on beam.
Cat leap, side aerial beat jump combination there by Obregon.
Nice landing on that double back, good chest position. You know, just can't say enough good things about how Sky Carrico has broken out this season.
Nice gainer full off the side, and stuck dismount for Obregon to finish things up for NC State. Just waiting on that official score to come in for Chloe Negrete, and then we'll have the final beam total. Right now, Maryland opening up in first with a very impressive 49.350, and we'll see how NC State can close the gap. Penn rolls along on floor. We have one more competitive routine. That will be Emma Davies in the anchor spot, and then an exhibition from Jackie Tunney before we get to our first break of the afternoon.
Well, and one of the things I'm really impressed with Maryland, they had some adversity on bars earlier in the season, did struggle on bars, had a counterfall here or there, and I think it's really commendable when those teams can turn that momentum around, and the last few meets have been really solid on bars. And you know, Brett Nelligan, head coach of Maryland, he likes to set up a couple double meet weekends.
Yes.
At the end. It's intentional. He has a strategy behind his schedule building. He believes his team peaks later in the season. He's a big data nerd like you and I are.
Yeah, sure.
So he likes to look at the numbers, but he plans them strategically. So they're going, the next away meet they have is at Towson, just down the road. You know, so he tries to manage how they are when they are going on the road and when they're having these double meet weekends to really manage that endurance
Well,
factor.
and the proof is in the pudding, because
Correct.
they've obviously, it has worked for them. It has delivered terrific results. They're in great shape right now. We said they're kind of artificially low. Maybe you could argue at 36 or 37 in the daily rankings right now, but if they execute, and I mean, you start 49.350, you're on a 197 pace right off the jump. If they can continue to execute here down the stretch, they're going to be solidly in position.
And it looks like NC State has taken over Maryland for the lead early here.
Yep.
49.425, so just in front. And you know, I'd say statistically, NC State certainly coming in having the edge. However, both of these teams are coming off 197s, and I would love to see them battle it out in the 197s this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. We will sign for that. That 49.425 is a season best, and thanks to Drew for being right on top of it. 5th best all time in program history for NC State. So Maryland and NC State, the two top teams by the numbers coming into today. NC State ranked 21st, Maryland 36th in this week's official rankings. Penn coming in at 50 and Temple at 57 is another interesting kind of duel within the quad to keep an eye on. It's the 3rd time that they've seen each other. Keystone Classic, which was at Penn, dual meet at Penn, which you and I had the chance to see in person. Penn is 2-0 right now against Temple, and there are some bragging rights on the line as well.
Exactly. Same thing happens with the DMV teams when
Yep.
Maryland and Towson and
Sure.
GW get together. They all want to beat each other, and really great to see Temple. And Temple got off to a nice, solid start on vault.
Yeah, 48.5 for Temple. We haven't recapped their scores yet. Interestingly, their high score was the opening score from Amelia Budd, the freshman, with a 9.75. Weren't able to top that. 9.675 for Monk, 9.65 for Weckler, 9.7s for Rusky and Shugman, and then a 9.675 from Aresta, as we have Emma Davies on floor, up 6 for Penn.
And she is a powerhouse. Big double pike. Doesn't go out. Little slide of that front foot, though. Little leg separation in that front layout before the front full, but great control out of the front full. And rocks that double back. She's so powerful, really has been so consistent for them. Just a little extra power in that first pass, couple minor form breaks here and there, but I love to watch her tumble.
Yeah, she's been up in that 9.9 range this year. We'll see what this scores. The low score right now for Penn to drop is a 9.725 from either Lassiter or Carrico. So they might get to inch up a touch on their 48.8 right now on floor. They're going to open in third. NC State with the lead, 49-425 on beam. Maryland will be in second, 49-350 on bars. Penn will be in third, pending what this last score is from Davies. Maybe inching up toward the 49 mark, not quite all the way there. And then Temple at a 48-5 is going to open in fourth here at home. Floor scoring has been a little slow to start, so we'll get Davies' score, and then we've got an exhibition routine for Jackie Tunney before we get to our first break of the afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that we talked about that 197 number as a big number for NC State and Maryland to hit. 196, a big number that Penn and Temple both yet to hit this season. Temple, the last time they were at home, 195.9, and when Penn was last at home, 195.8. So those, I think, for them moving into their conference championships, if they can get over that 196 threshold, that will be a big confidence booster going into conference season.
Yeah, and just round numbers, if you want to get a 196, that's 49s across the board, 197, 49, 250 across the board. So that's kind of the unofficial benchmark as you're tracking these individual rotation scores. Emma Davies scored a 9.85 for Penn.
And just a little shy on that full twisting double backs. You see her take that step forward, but love that she's going for that difficulty.
So that will inch Penn up to a 48.925. So again, if you keep 449s in mind, they're just a bit off of that 196 pace to start on floor. But this is statistically their weakest event. They'll go to vault next, which has been their best this season.
Goes for that difficult 1.5 to front full. Really great to see that level of difficulty in the exhibition. One of the things that Coach Becker talked to me about was how much more depth they have in their squad this season, really playing around with that. And we're going to see some of their first years in lineup spots later in the rotation that we have not, later in the meet, I should say, that we haven't so far this year.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about it, Christina. If you want to track the explosion of success and talent and whatever you want to call it that Penn has had, look no further than an E first pass in an exhibition routine.
Right.
Someone would have looked at you like you had three heads if you had said that 5 years ago looking at this Penn program. It's a testament to what Coach Becker and her staff have done.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a break. We'll recap the scores here. 49-425 for NC State, fifth highest score in program history, highest since 2004, and they did it by starting with a fall. They knocked it out of the park in their final five routines. Maryland opens in second, 49-350, which ties for their fifth highest bar score in program history. Penn, 48-925 on floor in third, and Temple, the home team in today's quad meet, a 48-5 opening in fourth after vault. We'll take a break. Next, Temple to bars, Maryland to beam, NC State to floor, and Penn to vault when we come back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Christina Chauvenet with you. Thursday afternoon quad meet, and what a start. We had high hopes, Christina, for what we might see, especially out of NC State. 21st in the country, Maryland 36th. Both of those teams delivered. 49-425 for NC State to start on beam. They will head to floor. Maryland opened 49-350 on bars. They go to beam. Then you have Penn, who started in third, 48-925 on floor. They will move to vault. And Temple, after a 48-5 on vault, will move to the uneven bars as we are just a few minutes away from the start of rotation number 2. But think something for everyone in that first meet. Everyone should feel pretty good about where they stand and a chance to build here as we go to the second rotation.
Absolutely. And, I think that for Temple, they're moving into a really critical rotation. Bars has been an inconsistent event for them. Did have to count some mistakes at their quad at NC State. These two teams saw each other last weekend. Shout out to Sydney Sneed, by the way, commentating at NC State. Some of our viewers might know I used to commentate at NC State when I lived in North Carolina. Fellow Georgia alum,
That's
as
right.
yourself and Coach Hillary Steele.
That's
so small world
it is.
in this
that it is.
gymnastics world. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes, they were together. They had to count some falls at NC State. So that's an area that they're really looking to build on, because they do get the benefit of Olympic order. They're absolutely stunning to watch on floor. So if they can get through with 5 clean hits here, they're going to feel really good moving into the third rotation.
Yeah, Temple has definitely been plagued by inconsistency on bars and beam, not always in the same meet. It's been kind of a whack-a-mole situation for Hillary Steele in her first year, former Temple assistant coach last season, and now taking over the reins of this program in her first year. So certainly looking for some consistency down the stretch, and with a team that is going to bring back a lot of pieces into 2025, this is a chance to start building now, get some momentum that you can feel good about to kind of set the table for what she's trying to do with this program in year 2.
Yeah, and speaking of setting the table, Penn, as you mentioned, moving to vault, a strong event for them. First year, Jordan Barrow is anchoring this lineup with a huge Yurchenko full. She's one to keep your eye out for. And Kirsten Belkoff has one of the best Yurchenko halves, I think, in the country when she can stick it. So this is they have really big dynamic vaults. What they're looking for is, again, as you mentioned, to hone in on those landings.
And again, to bring it back to our kind of chase for 196 on the Penn and Temple side, neither team has cracked a 49 on this particular event. They've both been close. Penn topping out with a 48.950 on vault, Temple 48.950 on bars. And beginning the quest here in rotation 2 will be Reese DeHaan. Good first handstand for Temple. Blind change into a pike Jaeger. Immediate overshoot, maybe a tiny leg separation, but good job by DeHaan. Handstand there, giant full, immediate double tuck, and just bounces up a little on the landing, but a fine start for Temple. They'll take that any day.
Yeah, she's been so impressive for Temple, leading them off. Again, super critical for your lead off on any event, but particularly one that you have struggled on.
So good job by DeHaan there to set the table. She's had a season-high 9.75, so we'll see what that scores here to set the tone for Temple in rotation number 2. Maryland is about to get underway over on beam. Emma Silberman, their all-arounder, in that critical leadoff spot on beam. And now the Wolfpack Howl signaling we are ready to go on floor. Maddie Hall will open things up for NC State.
And Isabel Song preparing to go. Looks like, now she has gotten the green light. Love that leg up turn on floor. Nice Yurchenko full, just under rotated there. You see she has to take that small hop forward.
Hall opens with a very clean double tuck, controlled lunge, nice chest position on the landing.
Silverman gearing up for her triple series here. Handspring layout. Good fight there because her hips were pretty far off.
And up second now on the uneven bars after an opening 9.725 from DeHaan. This is Hannah Weckler. Maloney up to the high bar for Weckler as we get the second pass for Hall.
Maddie Perkins up next for Penn.
Trying to hang on to that landing and just had to pike it down and take a step forward there from Weckler as Hall gets ready to finish up.
And some bobbles throughout that opening routine for Silberman, but a lot of fight and really, again, critical in that leadoff position.
Yeah, still the routine that they hope probably that they'll drop if they can go out and execute 2 through 6 on beam, but a big difference being able to get that hit, take some of the pressure off, and try to let the scores build from there for the Terrapins.
A little bit of a scoring delay here on vault, but looks like Perkins has gotten the green light. Nice dynamics in that Yurchenko full. Probably the best I've seen her do it this season, and she just, that baby hop in place, but the future of Penn gymnastics, very, very bright.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and she's topped out this season and to 9.75. I would expect that could be a new season best.
Yeah, I will say we don't have the greatest view of the vault landing from here, but certainly very dynamic in the air.
And up second on beam for Maryland is Layla Hammer.
Very crisp in that handspring layout step out series. Love that front toss, and does a nice job of keeping her chest position up and landing.
Angie Hogan getting her routine underway, up third for Temple. Maloney up to the high bar. Just a little short on that next handstand. Toe-on, toe-off handstand looks good, and just a little form on that shoot over to handstand on the low bar.
Marissa Lassiter for Penn, big Yurchenko full. Doesn't quite control the landing. Has to take that hop back.
Double tuck and just a little shuffle backwards on the landing there for Hogan. A little minor nicks there, but nothing major. Coming off of a 9.525 from Weckler, and up second on floor for NC State. This is Ashley Knight. 9.7 opening score for Maddie Hall.
And Knight is just such a powerful gymnast. I've really enjoyed watching her in her first season at NC State. Look at this layout step out, sky high. Sky Carrico, speaking of sky high. She was a little high on the table actually, and just had to take that hop forward. Getting that, the reason we talk about the positionality on the table so much is that's how you set yourself up for success in the vault.
Emily Johnson, meanwhile, on the uneven bars. Maloney up to the high bar. Overshoot back, maybe just a little shy on that handstand. Up to the high bar here. Two giants, double layout, and just the smallest of steps forward with that right foot, but a nice routine by the freshman Emily Johnson.
Yeah, they're gonna be hype about that one.
Speaking of, a 9.925 over on the beam. That had Maryland fired up a moment ago.
And new career high in Layla Hammer's first season.
Yeah, by a full 10th.
Yeah, she's been an athlete that's worked her way into the beam lineup, was competing in exhibition earlier in the season, and I've seen her grow and was really confident in that routine. And Natalie Martin, the freshman everyone has been talking about on Maryland, 4-star recruit as rated by College Gym News, and she really has delivered just a really, really calm competitor. And just has great technique across all 3 events that she competes. She is training bars, by the way, so we might see her in all-around in future, but likely not this season. Goes for that difficult switch. Would like to see her just maintain that second split position, but difficult combo.
Right up fifth, meanwhile, on bars is Sarah Stallings.
Just a little lean to the side there, but no feet movement on that dismount for Martin. Great job.
Good pike Jaeger for Stallings. Gets up to the next handstand. Good shoot over to handstand. Really held that position well. Up third, meanwhile, on floor for NC State is Krista Zoltovics. Good last handstand from Stallings. Nice routine going here. And sticks the landing as well. Really nicely done.
big 2.5 punch front. Love it. I love the choreography of this routine too. Kirsten Belkoff getting set to go here for Penn on vault.
Well, Maryland happy about another beam score. We'll see what the total comes up for on Martin. 9.95, back-to-back career highs for Hammer and Martin.
And here's this Yurchenko half. Nice air time. The hop forward, but she showed nice control on landing.
All right, season high is catching on. 9.9 for Sarah Stallings. That's her season best.
And drills that double back.
Serena Whalen up 5th now for Temple. Owls have gone back-to-back season high scores on bars, trying to keep that rolling here. Good handstand on the high bar. Tkachev back up to a handstand, very nice. Two Giants, full twist, oh, and just a step forward on the landing for Whalen.
Yeah, I think she might have just let go a little early there. Gatzendorfer getting started for Maryland on beam. As you mentioned, Maryland on a roll here. Gatzendorfer, another one of those athletes doing the triple series, 2 back handsprings, 2 layout step out. Wow. I thought she was a little off on that second back handspring, actually, but...
If she was, she corrected it in a hurry. She was not on that layout step out.
Jordan Barrow, the air time here. Just a hop on landing, but again, the dynamics are there. She's getting close to flaring it out.
So that has completed the competition routine for Penn on vault. They will have an exhibition from Connie Sue.
Maybe just a little shy on that first switch split from Gatzendorfer.
And after a 9.8 for Krista Zoltovics, up 4th will be Katya Edwards.
And Zoltovich, well deserved. I loved her choreography. Tumbling was on point. And Gatzendorfer, just a little hop forward, but Maryland's rolling on beam.
Yeah, that they are. Scores haven't quite been there in the same way for NC State on floor. Edwards picked that up here, first pass. Very nice double pike. Tried to keep that front foot down, maybe the slightest drag.
Yep. And again, that's what that controlled lunge, that's how the controlled lunge is measured. If your front foot moves, the judges should be taking a deduction. Connie Sue here for Penn in exhibition, an athlete that missed last season and due to injury, and got back in some scoring lineups against Texas Women's in exhibition here.
Full front layout, second pass.
Just some form on that Yurchenko full, but good for her getting that back in the lineup. And so now all wrapped on vault and bars. Better control out of that double back compared to the first pass. And Maddie Komorowski getting set to go here for Maryland. And Maddie Komorowski, such a gorgeous gymnast to watch on beam. Really has some of those exemplary qualities that I love to see in a beam worker. And what I want our viewers to pay attention to are a couple things. Number one, her toe point. The toe point is constant throughout this routine. There's not a flat foot. Look at this opening mount. It's just beautiful to watch. Also, the way that she has, look how she's working on releve into her series. One-armed back handspring layout step out, by the way. And she's setting herself up for success by the way that she keeps her torso centered over beam. I mean, this is really state-of-the-art beam work. Just smooth in that front aerial. She's coming off back-to-back 9.925 career highs. Great extension through that switch split to split jump combination. One and a half. Just the step forward, oh, too bad. But, you know, on the beam, as I mentioned, she's the gold standard of how you want to work balance beam.
It's been 3 scores of 9-9 or higher in a row for Maryland, so feeling very good about where they are right now with one routine left. Joe Kogler in the anchor spot, and then an exhibition from Olivia Weir. So we're going to get ready to go back to floor exercise now. Emily Shepard will be up 5th for NC State following back-to-back 9.8s from Zoltovich and Edwards.
And speaking of the gold standard, Emily Shepard, she's got such exceptional technique. I talked about this on beam. We're going to see the same thing from her on floor. And I actually love to see her back-to-back with Komorowski because they have very similar qualities in their technique, their toe point.
And by the way, Komorowski had a 9.875.
Pointed toes in that double pike. Thought she was a little low in that front aerial, but connected that to the front full, no problem. Josephine Kogler getting started for Maryland on beam, and she's a great person to follow up Maddie Komorowski. Such a calm beam worker, Kogler is. Just like there, was a little off on that straddle quarter, but was patient, made the correction. Triple series right on. I love the confidence that Maryland has had in their acrobatic series across this rotation.
It's already a season-high beam score as a team for Maryland.
Oh, you jinxed her, Kevin.
I did.
And that's going to be interesting because she, in my opinion, broke that connection. Yep. And now just trying to work through the rest of this routine. Gainer full, hangs on to the landing, but difficult break for her towards the end of that routine.
Yeah, disappointing there after really a full head of steam from Maryland in the middle part of that rotation. So we'll see if that can maybe add to the low score at the moment, which is that opening 9.65 for Silverman. We'll have an exhibition from Weir.
And a 9.9 for Shepard on floor. It's just another day at the office for her, really. She's broke the NC State record for 9.9s. So far as I can tell, she wakes up, has a sandwich, and gets 9.9s. Speaking of 9.9s, Chloe Negretti, no stranger to 9.9s herself. Nice double pike. Gets that leap all the way around, really is precise in her leap work. Olivia Weir getting started for Maryland in exhibition here. Great control out of the combo pass for Negretti. Cool combination here for Weir. That switch split into the layout step out, nicely done. Nice job on that double back. She had a little bit of trouble controlling that last week at home. That's what we're used to seeing from Chloe Negretti.
Excellent finish there, and we'll see where it leaves NC State at the end of this rotation. They will have an exhibition from Meg Adler as well.
And Weir wrapping up. Nice routine from her. Again, an athlete that has been in the exhibition spot. And I'm now seeing the score, by the way, with our viewers I don't think can see, that Kogler before I'm seeing one of the judges, I can't see the other judge, but one of the judges gave her a 9-9 start. So likely did not give that connection from the switch split to split jump 9-6-2-5 for her.
Yep, and well, they've actually got it in the official score as a 9-6, so we'll see exactly where that lands. Always fun when the score flasher disagrees with the input that we've got. So, but either way, it will not improve on the 49-3. It is a season best beam for Maryland, even though it ended on kind of a sour note. And an update from our good friend Drew Porsche, who says that the 9.95 from Natalie Martin ties the school record. She's the 5th to do it and the first in over a decade, back in 2013. So.
We just got to shout out Drew. Yeah. You know, we would be nowhere without people like Drew.
Please do not mistake for a second that I am coming up with any of this in real time. We appreciate Drew's efforts.
Absolutely. And, you know, again, as you mentioned, Maryland, you know, dynamic rotation. Despite that, I actually think the judges were ready to go 10 on Komorowski's routine until that step forward on the dismount, because she went 9-8-7-5.
Yep.
And that landing was about a 10th to me. So watch the space. I'm on 10 watch for her.
All right, waiting on the score here for Negretti, and then an exhibition routine for Meg Adler before we are officially at the halfway point this afternoon. And we can catch you up on the Penn and Temple scores, which are finalized. Penn over on vault, Isabel Song, 9.65. Maddie Perkins, 9.75. Marissa Lassiter, 9.65. Sky Carrico, 9.725. Kirsten Belkoff, 9.775. And Jordan Barrow in the anchor spot with the high score of a 9.8. Negretti, 9.825 to wrap things up for NC State. 49.050 on floor, as Maryland will jump ahead into first place.
A little insecure in that landing in the Rudy and was shy of rotation. Overturned to that switch side, I think, but that round off layout step out in there to fulfill the back tumbling requirement. Oh, was just not fully rotated around in that front full. And then when you try and do a rebounding skill out of something you weren't fully, it's hard to keep that to your feet.
A tough finish there for Adler. NC State closes 49.050 on floor, but Maryland putting up a season best 49.3 on beam. They have jumped into first place, 98.650 for the Terrapins. Well on that 197 road score pace here halfway through the afternoon. NC State, 98.475, just a shade below 197 pace. Penn, stays in third, 97-625 for the Quakers. Temple in fourth, 97-450. So that's where we stand at the halfway point. Temple moves to beam, Maryland to floor, NC State vault, Penn to bars when we continue.
On bars, Emily Johnson and Sarah Stallings. Scooters now 4-meter high, which means it's time for a high point.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Christina Chauvenet with you here on ESPN+. Thursday afternoon gymnastics, McGonigal Hall, Temple University hosting Maryland, NC State, and Penn. Right now, the Owls in fourth, 97-450. Penn in third, 97-625. NC State in second, 98-475, and then Maryland in first, 98-650. They put up a 49-3 on beam, and we thank our good friend Drew Porsche for providing some up-to-the-minute statistical analysis today, and we can tell you that 49-3, seventh best score in program history, and the combined bars beam score, their best ever, 98-650. So they've got a chance to do something really special here this afternoon if they can keep it up.
Well, and they're moving to floor, which is statistically their best event. They have really powerful tumbling passes, really clean landings in general across the board. So they are really set up for success in the rest of this meet.
Now, there continues to be some discussion over with the floor judges. Not sure exactly what the nature of it is. We could surmise it has something to do with one of the late scores, possibly Negretti's for NC State, that 9.825. So we'll keep an eye on that if that score changes at all.
Yeah, and I will say I did find when that score came in, I found that to be a little low. So I don't know if that is what they are talking about, but certainly could be.
You know, we also have not seen a score issued for the exhibition routine for Meg Adler, and we are seeing at least one judge, the judge nearest us, with a 9.8 start value shown. So it could be over Adler's routine as well.
Yeah, which though it does not count towards the team score, they still do have to score it, and those same rules apply as do for the scoring routines in terms of the judging differentials and when they have to conference, etc.
So because of all of that, we started our transition clock late, and the touch warm-up clock has just begun, so you're stuck with us for another 3.5 minutes before the third rotation
I was going to say, Kevin, if any of our viewers know us, they know you and I can talk about gymnastics for far more than 3.5 minutes, so settle in, grab a snack.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, I just love this time of the year because we're getting to that point in the season where the teams know what's at stake. They're all gearing up for, of course, we've talked about the differentials in the team scoring with Maryland and NC State, looking at that regional qualifying. Penn and Temple not in that scoring threshold, but they do have their championships to look forward to. I'll be on the mic for Eagles if anybody's tuning in for that, and you know, certainly something that they all want to contend for.
Absolutely, and it's a new look Eagle this year. You've got 5 teams because of the departure of 3 teams to the ACC. You've got NC State, the regular season champions in the ACC, will look to make it a double and go for the ACC championship. When those 4 teams get together, that will be exciting. They'll kind of come in pole position, as it were, there. And you're right, Temple and Penn, 2 teams that are not going to qualify to regionals. They're not going to be able to make up enough ground to get into that top 36, but Penn's a 2-time defending GEC champion. They have been the class of that league in its history.
Absolutely.
And Temple is only a couple of years removed from an Eagle championship of their own. They've had a couple of top 3 finishes, and will look to get back to it, just down the road at Towson.
And we should say NC State, the defending ACC champions, because the last time that the ACC championships were held was 1984. And Coach Kim Landris reminded us that NC State won it then. So I don't know if we'll see any of the 84 members coming back in a Leo for the ACC championships, but they are having their senior meet on Sunday, and they're going to have some of those gymnasts back from that 84 team. So that's exciting for them.
Really neat that it is the 40th anniversary of that championship. Great to have gymnastics in the ACC, of course. Clemson getting a lot of the headlines for what they've been able to come out of the gate and do in their first season as a program. And It will be a really compelling and terrific meet to watch, but seeing what NC State has been able to do here on the road, and I thought it was really interesting. You talked about Brett Nelligan and the way that he set up the Maryland schedule with all of these double meet weekends. I thought one of the interesting things talking with Coach Kim Landris about her scheduling philosophy is they have really turned to all quads in the month of March to try to get into that. That's what regionals are going to be like. That's what nationals are going to be like. That's what the conference championship is going to be like. So they've gone quad here, some home, some road, but just getting into that, it's a different routine, it's a different rhythm. So every team is trying these little things. You know, when you have these kinds of postseason and championship aspirations, you do every little thing you can to put your team in the best possible position.
Absolutely. And, you know, the other thing that if you are a stats nerd like Kevin and myself are, there's so many different mathematical permutations of how regionals could play out for these teams. You know, I mentioned, you know, NC State really coming into their own in the latter half of the season. So if they can put some more 197s on the board, they can push towards that ranked regional spot. Maryland, they could get as high as 18th after this weekend, but their lowest possible ranking is 37, so they really are in a good position of being able to go for it, because there is also a gap after that 37th team between the rest of the field. So, you know, one of those teams that's at the bubble is going to miss out, but Maryland's sitting in a great position compared to a couple of the teams that are just in front of them. Yeah,
absolutely, and they have gone out and they have done it so far, and as Christina said, they now go to floor exercise, which has statistically been their best event this season. They're ranked 26th in the country on floor, and they're coming off of their highest combined bars beam score in program history. So we'll see if Maryland can keep it rolling. They are in first right now at the midway point. NC State will go to vault, which is their best event statistically. They're 23rd in the country over on the vault. Penn will go to bars, and Temple will go to beam. And Christina, we haven't talked a whole lot about Temple leading into this rotation, but very similar story for beam as it was for bars. This has been an up and down event. They were up on bars 48-950, tying their season best mark. They would desperately love to keep that momentum going here into beam, and that will have Peyton Monk, the freshman, who has kind of taken command of this leadoff spot in the back half of the season.
And I've been really impressed with what she's done as a freshman here at Temple. And even there, just a little, I could see her back heel was a little off, but patient in the corrections. And you hear me say that a lot on beam, because patience is key. You don't want to overcorrect. You don't want to panic. And hangs on there. I was worried I was going to jinx her, but hangs on as Taylor Reck gets started on floor.
Now, Monk has been really fun to watch. She's just a born floor performer as well. We'll look forward to seeing her there in the fourth rotation, giving Temple 3 events as a freshman.
Punch front double for Reck to open.
Well, interesting there from Monk, who had to redo that cat leap side aerial connection. Seemed to just be off on that initial cat leap, went back and repeated it.
Double back here for Reck. Large lunge out of it, but controls it.
And a punch front full, big hop forward on the landing for Monk. So certainly some fight there from the freshman. And not her cleanest routine, but that's why she's in the leadoff spot, to get through it, to set Temple up, and she did there.
Isabel Song getting started for Penn on bars.
And Maddie Hall is going to be in the leadoff position for NC State when the Wolfpack gets started on the vault.
Smooth pack salto from Song there. Shy on that final handstand. Nice dismount from Song. Good control out of that front layout for Reck to end that routine. Taylor Reck, such a performer on floor. I love the choreography. I love her dedication to it.
It's an extra long wait here over on vault, and eventually they just kind of waved Hall off, get back off the runway. You know, he stands for so long in that position, just kind of basically restart the whole, you know, pre-routine routine again. As we've got over on beam, up second for Temple is Summer Rusky.
And she's pretty to watch on this event. Handspring layout, step out, solid there. Hesitant in that connection to the front toss. I think they probably will give it to her though. Marissa Lassiter getting set on bars for Penn, an event we haven't seen her on yet this year. Of course, staple of the vault and floor lineup. Goes aggressive for that first handstand.
Back handspring 1.5, dismount for Rusky, very good finish.
Couple of short handstands in this routine for Lassiter, but sticks the landing in that double back. Silverman getting started for Maryland here. I love that combo, so fun.
And we are finally ready to go on vault. Maddie Hall will start things off for NC State. Big Yurchenko layout, full little hop back, but boy, the distance from the table, just really stunning.
Yeah. Controls the step out of that front double full for Silverman.
Up third on beam, meanwhile, Madison Durunda.
So card, that triple series. Sarah Kennefick up next for Penn on bars.
And just a little hop forward on the dismount for Durunda as well. So no big mistakes from Temple, just little tenths here and there.
But I love that Durunda goes for that really difficult. Oh. Don't know what happened there on bars. Just lost her grip. Tough break.
Meanwhile, over on vault, Yurchenko layout, full small hop back. That is Lex Ortega in the second spot.
And yeah, a little hop back there, but really has nice form in the air, really legs glued together there. So repeating this cool combo, full turn, to the double full. Not that many people doing that in NCAA. Again, just that adversity in the fall earlier.
You know, one of the very rare falls across the board.
Yeah.
It's been I hesitate to say it out loud, but it's been a nice clean meet. Over on beam now, up fourth for Temple, Renee Shugman.
Nice clean front double full for Maryland. Rhea LeBlanc here.
Shugman, that very front aerial combination.
Just lacking a little bit of rise in that front layout for LeBlanc on floor.
Over on vault. Up third, Krista Zoltovich. Most controlled of the landings. Just a little bit of knees there.
But I'm really impressed with the dynamics that NC State has on vault.
I agree. And a nice dismount for Shugman. The cleanest of the beam routines so far for Temple. They count on one of their seniors, and they'll also have Brooke Donabedian and Sarah Stallings in the last two positions.
Good control out of that Rudy. As Connie Sue on bars for Penn. Just her second time in the lineup this season. The dismount was the problem area for her last week. That step forward, yeah, just working her way back in. Tough break for her. But, you know, again, she's just working her way back in the lineup. Does have some really nice qualities, really nice toe point on bars.
Yeah, and interesting to see here from Penn. We talked about Lassiter getting into the lineup for the first time. You have Sue, who's just getting back into the lineup. So still some things to work out, even as you turn the corner into March. Good competition, obviously, as we get a front entry vault for NC State in a beautiful stuck landing.
Gracious.
Wow. Ashley Knight, my goodness.
This is one of the vaults that my friend Sydney Sneed told me to watch out for. Big front pike half there.
Wow, that's outstanding.
And that is one of those 10-0 vaults, so it'll be interesting to see what the judges do with that. As Donabedian on beam, so pretty. Just the toe point. Does the double stag, just a little off there, but not that many people doing the double stag. What I love about Donabedian on beam and floor is the variety that she has. She does different elements. Clean in that front aerial to back handspring combination. .9925 for Knight on vault.
That's a season best by half a tenth for Knight.
Sophia Paris up next on bars for Penn.
Meg Adler, meanwhile, on vault with a very big Yurchenko layout full. They're really bringing it in the back half of this vault lineup, cleaning up those landings. Small hop forward for Donabedian.
Komorowski on floor for Maryland. Pretty stalter to double back for Paris. That's just what Penn needed. And Komorowski goes for that difficult Ferrari. Didn't have a great angle here to see whether she got full head release, but usually does a pretty nice job. Lacking a little rise out of that 1.5, but look at the ring jump to close. Her dance is immaculate, and her twisting form as well.
Over on vault, Chloe Negretti just comes in a little bit piked, has to take that step forward.
You know, I almost wonder if she was just going for that stick a little bit too much, and has to, as you say, take that hop forward, because it looked like she had power off the table.
Yeah, so unfortunately for NC State and for Negretti in particular, just unable to cap off these last two rotations the way that we know she's capable of. She has delivered so many good routines. I do not think that is a big point of concern for NC State moving forward. Over on the beam now, in the anchor position is Sarah Stallings. Triple series, had that one pretty well locked in.
Sky Carrico, big ray here. Oh, no. We're just jinxing the athletes a little bit in this rotation, I'm afraid. Looked like, you know, she was just probably off as she was coming into that toe, that ray again, that toe on Tkachev. tough break.
Now, really disappointing there, and unfortunately for Penn, they will have to count a fall. They had the earlier fall from Sarah Kenefick as Stallings finishes up. Round off 1.5. Little hop forward, but Temple gets through an uneventful beam rotation, and I mean that in the best possible way.
And I think, yeah, most coaches would agree with you. Uneventful, great way to finish beam.
An exhibition vault. Yurchenko layout half for Lucy Lehman. Had to take a few steps out of that.
Yeah, but nice in the air.
Yeah.
And this isn't Brittany, it's Alexa Rothenbuscher. Been absolutely dynamic this season for Maryland. Opens with a whip to double back. Jordan Barrow getting set to go in the exhibition spot for Penn.
Likewise, Hannah Weckler will exhibition for Temple on beam.
Double pike. The flex of the way that she just stands that up before she takes the lunge back. Phenomenal.
Weckler gearing up for her series.
Some leg bend in the air, but solid on landing. And so wrapped on the scoring routines on all 3 rotations except floor.
We'll have one more for Maryland. That is Natalie Martin in the anchor spot. And then expecting an exhibition from Sam Gilbert as Weckler just a little step off to the side on that gainer full.
And Barrow just waiting on the score here. Both bars and floor waiting. You know, I think it's exciting for Jordan Barrow. We saw her on vault, has that huge Yurchenko full, but really, you know, Coach Becker has high hopes for her at Penn, as she should, and is trying to work her into some more events. We're also going to see her exhibition on beam. So just trying to get some of those other events as they have a class of seniors that's contributed a lot of routines, start getting some of those first years, some experience, even in the exhibition spot, getting their routines out there.
And it looks as if we may have a judges conference over on floor. I see at least 199 start value.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that would come from because I'm pretty sure she had everything she needed. I will admit, during a quad, my ability to do math in my head about start values is more limited.
And during any kind of meet, my ability to do that math in my head is limited. So.
Kevin, you do not give yourself enough credit.
So they're going to get together and talk that one over on floor. We can give you an update after this exhibition from Jordan Barrow on Temple's beam scores as well.
Nice, Jaeger. Just a little leg separation in that shoot over, but moving through this routine well. Oh. Full turn into the double back. All right. nice opening performance for her on bar. She forgot to hold. She turned around to her teammate and said, our viewers probably can't see that, but said, oh, I forgot to hold. So, you know, that's the hold rule. It's, you know, creeping in there, particularly if you haven't competed in an event. But good for her. Some nice, you know, a couple of form breaks here and there, but a lot of potential on that bar routine.
All right, deliberations continue over on floor. Let's recap the beam scores for Temple. Season best 49.050, first time over that 49 mark this season. So that is very encouraging and exciting for Hillary Steele and her team. They dropped a 9.575 from Peyton Monk, 9.775 from Summer Ruski, 9.825 from Madison Durunda. Season best 9.85 from Renee Shugman, 9.775 from Brooke Donabedian, and then a season best 9.825 in the anchor spot for Sarah Stallings.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I like about that performance, Monk was a little shaky in that first spot. Same thing that happened to NC State, actually.
And Maryland.
Yeah,
this has been a tough day for leadoffs.
Sure.
I'm going to reverse jinx it for Penn here, that they're going to get off to a good start. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Temple can feel really good coming out of that. Saw a lot of confidence in those series, saw some really nice dance elements, and now they're moving to floor, which is a strong event for them. Always fun to finish at home on floor too.
Yeah, that's certainly the event where they have been most confident this season, and it just goes up a notch even to get to do it at home.
And Natalie Martin having to wait a very long time here. And I will say, I'm not sure what ended up happening.
They bumped it to a 10-0, so it was a well worth it wait.
10-0 start value.
10-0 start value, yes,
9-9.
sorry. I would have not been so passe about a 10-0
Ah,
start.
10.
Yeah, 10-0 start value 9-9 for Rothenbuscher, and now Natalie Martin in the anchor spot for Maryland.
And she's about to put this full in into the rafters, folks. Just even a little extra power bouncing out of that. Connects to that stag jump, important for her. Short on that switch half. Just a hop out of that double back. I've seen her be more controlled on particularly those double salto passes, but what a talent. I mean, she's got power for days. Technique on her full in is impeccable.
So that's the last scoring routine of the rotation. We will stick around for an exhibition from Sam Gilbert, and then we will take our final break of the afternoon. But Maryland is going to extend their lead. 48.950 for NC State on vault. The high point was certainly Ashley Knight, that beautiful 9.925 front pike half vault. 9.65 was the score that was dropped from Maddie Hall, 9.8 from Lex Ortega, 9.7 from Krista Zoltovich, the 9.925 from Knight, 9.825 from Meg Adler, also a season best, and then that 9.7 from Negretti, unfortunately, in the anchor spot for NC State. So left a couple of tenths out there just below the 49, and Maryland is already at a 49.125 on floor, and obviously a chance to add to it here depending on the score for Martin. They are dropping a 9.775 at the moment.
Well, and I think that in terms of Martin's score, I think that score will probably come in about that.
And so, it came in exactly that.
Come on.
It's like you know what you're doing.
Come on.
Yeah.
I was going to say I would go 9.75, 9.8 for that. Just, again, she's so talented, but wasn't quite as crisp on some of those tumbling passes I saw, and there was a split in there that was a little shy.
So it is a 49-125 for Maryland. They will not improve on their score. They have a 147-775. That's a lead of 3.5 tenths over NC State as we go to the final rotation. So exciting to keep an eye on that one there. And meanwhile, Temple has jumped ahead of Penn, who had to count a fall on the uneven bars. Temple, with their season high and 10th best in program history beam, moves up into third, Penn in fourth, and now an exhibition from Sam Gilbert on floor.
Front through to double back. Nice control on that double back. Some leg separation in that final pass, but nice control out of it. Really solid exhibition for Gilbert.
All right, and with that, we have hit our final break of the afternoon. Fourth and final rotation on the way when we come back, and a lot at stake and a lot to sort out as we come back with Penn finishing up on beam, NC State finishing on bars, Maryland on vault, and Temple, the home team, on floor exercise when we come back to McGonigal Hall. In first right now, Maryland. Second, NC State. Third, Temple. Fourth, Penn. Fourth rotation on the way when we return. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Christina Chauvenet with you here. Fourth and final rotation about to get underway from McGonigal Hall. 4-minute touch has begun. Temple, the home team, finishing on floor. Maryland will finish up on vault. NC State on bars, and Penn on beam. A couple of small score changes here and there, some corrections upward and downward. Nothing that changes the overall order of the meet. Maryland still in first, NC State in second, Temple in third, Penn in fourth. Summer Ruskey's score dropped down to a 9.625 on beam, so the Owls did not, unfortunately, break that 49 mark. They finished at a 48.9 on beam, but still enough to improve and leapfrog Penn into third place. We had a correction to a 9.775. That's a correction up for Sophia Paris on bars for Penn, so they went 48.050. Did have to count a fall, 145.675 overall. NC State, remember Chloe Negretti's floor, that long discussion that ensued. She did tick up a quarter tenth to a 9.85, so NC State now at a 147.450, and Maryland in the lead, though half a tenth taken away from our initial score for Alexa Rothenbuscher, 9.8 down to a 9.85, 9.9 down to a 9.85. So again, little tenths, half tenths, quarter tenths, but the overall complexion of the meet remains the same, Christina, and that is a great road score for Maryland and NC State. If they can finish what they have started in the first three rotations, can bring that home, they are both going to leave here very happy.
Yeah, and Kevin, I'm grateful for you and your stat wizardry over there, keeping us abreast of what has changed and what little details change. You know, I do think, you know, it's interesting because we talked about these two groups of sort of mini duels in the quad, and that's how it's shaping up. Temple in a really good position coming into floor. You know, Penn really struggled on bars. They are going to an event that, yes, it's been up and down for them, but it can be so beautiful. Remember, Penn set their program record a couple years ago. Campbell Marr, one of those athletes, contributing to that, and they had a really nice showing at the Ivy Classic, so they can end this meet on a really high note. Maryland, we should say, set their vault program record at this meet last year with you and I on the mic.
That's right. So we'll see if that lightning can strike twice. And I certainly believe it for Maryland, given the way that they have set themselves up. 49.075 didn't quite knock it out of the park on floor the way that we might have expected, given the way that they started this meet on bars and beam, though I think the floor scoring has been a little bit tighter than the bars and beam scoring all afternoon today, and I think they're in good position here to finish up on vault. Temple, meanwhile, they go to their best event. Like you said, for Penn, I think it's the event with their highest ceiling. They've gone 49.275 this season, so if they can put it together, and yeah, I think we should be looking at a really exciting finish overall. We've only had one counted fall in the entire meet. Unfortunately just came at the wrong time for Penn.
And for NC State, they are moving to their statistically best ranked event, 27th on bars. Your NC State program record holder, or co-program record holder, I should say, Emily Shepard, that a 9.975 career high for her. So they certainly have the opportunity to end this meet on a really high note, and we're going to see that power trio of super seniors on bars here as well.
Yeah, and again, even though they come in today at different places, NC State's 21st, Maryland's 36th. We've talked a lot about what Maryland can do to get off of the bubble, and they're in different conferences, with Maryland being in the Big Ten and NC State being in the newly reformed ACC. These are two teams that could well see each other in regionals. This is certainly a regionals preview, and so the head-to-head win doesn't matter a whole lot today, but I think that NC State can put some pressure on Maryland going here to bars if they can finish up strong, and it should make for a fun, as you said, duel within the quad.
And I also think one athlete for Temple to keep your eye on as it comes to regional qualification is Brooke Donabedian. She has qualified as an individual to regionals before. So stunning on this event, but just hasn't hit 9.9 enough times this season. And I have to be honest, that a couple times I've seen her, I thought that her score could go a little higher, and it didn't. So, that now is the time. Of course, there's so many, as Jenna King at College Gym News kindly helped me think through. There's so many different permutations of who qualifies as individuals to regionals based on the teams, because then, these teams that are jockeying for these positions, some of them are not going to qualify. They're going to be in those first round meets, which doesn't count towards the individual version of regionals. So, it's hard to predict, but she's certainly a contender for it.
Yeah, certainly. And the interesting thing, we've talked so much about the opportunity that Maryland and NC State have because they're backloaded with these road meets. Well, Temple has a different kind of opportunity. This is a double meet weekend at home.
Correct.
Historically, this has been a really big weekend for Temple. They set their program record. They always have this double home meet weekend in March, and this has been a really big one for them. So a chance for Donna Beatty to compete twice on her home floor as we get underway in the fourth and final rotation over on the bars with NC State.
And Olivia Weir getting things started for Maryland. Big Yurchenko full. I think that's the biggest vault I've seen her do.
Yeah, and a nice stuck landing for Weir as well as we get a good handstand. Nice stalter work.
And Kirsten Becker excuse me, that's the coach. Kirsten Pelkoff getting started for Penn. And I don't know, Kevin, I'm not sure that was a stick from Weir. I think she did take a hop there.
Okay. Hop forward on the landing from NC State. That was Kaylee Adamitis beginning things for the Wolfpack in their final rotation. Temple, meanwhile, getting underway on floor. Madison Durunda in the opening spot. Double back to start, big bounce out of it.
Oh, and just some hesitation there from Belkoff. Wonder if she's going to repeat that. She is. Switch split to that difficult sheep jump. Nice job of getting the head release there. Taylor Reck up next for Maryland on vault. And Taylor Reck sticks the dismount, as does Belkoff. Nice job there on that dismount. She handled that. She was really quick on her feet in that combination. Just didn't rush, didn't try and connect it when she was off, repeated it. Will be a deduction, but minimized it.
Durunda finishing up with that Rudy as we're up second on bars now for Peyton Childs.
Maybe just rushed that full pirouette a bit, but hangs on to that double back dismount.
And some unfortunate news, Christina, over on the Penn side on beam. Sky Carrico has been pulled from the beam lineup and obviously had the issue on bars, didn't finish that routine, has been scratched from beam. Alicia Warren is going to go in the anchor position, so certainly hope that Carrico first and foremost is okay, but missed opportunity here for her today. We talked about her potential in the all-around as we get another vault over there for Maryland. Jo Kogler up third.
Yeah, and you know, she really pretty in the air. Didn't quite stick that vault like Rec did, but she's got, what I love about Kogler on vault is she shows those lines off that she does on beam, on vault as well. Nice extension through the Yurchenko full.
So Maryland halfway home, Silberman, Rothenbuscher, and Martin, the remaining 3 in the vault lineup.
And Carly Oniki getting set here.
And over on bars, Maddie Reed will be up third after a 9.825 for Peyton Childs. Maybe a little short on that first handstand. Maloney up to the high bar. Paxalto back down the low bar. Form there. Up second on floor for Temple, Hannah Weckler.
Switch split, split jump. Difficult combination there for Oniki.
Reed's dismount. Oh, just takes that extra step on the landing.
Oniki hanging on to that series.
This is the first competition routine for Hannah Weckler, one of the Temple freshmen, so getting to make a floor debut here this afternoon.
Silberman on vault for Maryland. Does that full-on pike off the step, but nice pike position in the air. Some balance checks throughout this routine for Oniki. Nice job on that dismount, though.
Weckler full front layout. Back over on the bars with Katie Harper.
Pretty Ginger, nice leg form throughout that.
And handstand on the shoot over to handstand. Really nice work for Harper, locked in.
Yeah, she's going for broke on these handstands. Stick straight, double layout. Gorgeous work.
Well, Harper's got a career high 9.95. You can see why. That routine when she is on, and she was on right there, that was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, really pretty. So many athletes you see in that Ginger split their legs as they come in for catch. Absolutely nothing to take there on that Ginger, and nice toe point maintained. Just really a pretty bar worker all around.
NC State trying to play catch up here on Maryland, continuing on vault.
And Alexa Rothenbuscher, that's about the best landing I've seen her do on that Souk full. Some leg form coming off the table, but does a nice job of controlling that landing. That is one of those 10-0 start values.
We'll have one vault left for Maryland. That will be Natalie Martin. Meanwhile, Renee Shugman getting started on floor, and Lex Ortega getting started on bars.
And check this out, Hindorf. Goodness gracious. So rare to see that in NCAA. Little short on that bail handstand. Drills that double layout for Lex Ortega. Kaylee Martin, she can finish this rotation on such a high note for Maryland. 1.5. Oh, just had that, was trying to hold on to the stick, has that hop forward, but huge dynamics in that 1.5.
Oh my goodness. You feel her trying to dig in and close out the meet. That would have been huge for Maryland. Meanwhile, 9.95 for Lex Ortega. Season high, Shugman finishing up. Temple halfway done on floor.
And Shugman, pretty performance quality there. I really enjoy watching Shugman on floor, and then this whole Temple lineup on floor. Anna Kennefek getting started here for Penn on beam.
And continuing on bars. After that big routine from Ortega, Emily Shepard in the anchor position. Chance to really finish this meet off in a special way for NC State.
Hangs on to that series on beam for Kennefek. Oh, gosh.
Shepard came off on that pirouette on the low bar. Boy, just totally unexpected finish to the day for NC State.
And Rhea LeBlanc, an exhibition there for Maryland. Tough break for Shepard. Gosh, look at this toe point, though. She really is exceptional. Kennefek, too. Nice recovery on both of those dismounts, in fact, on that 1.5 on beam.
And, you know, it's going to go down as a little bit of a what-if kind of day for NC State, because they, in a couple of positions, you know, they had that 9-7 in the anchor position on vault from Negretti. That 9.85 wasn't her best floor routine. The fall from Shepard in the last routine on bars. There were a couple of opportunities, I think, where they had to just kind of punctuate a rotation with one more big score that just didn't quite get there. Left a few tenths out there today. It looks like it's going to be a mid to high 196. Over on floor, up fourth for Temple is Summer Ruski.
Front through, double back, great control there. Sam Gilbert, an exhibition for Maryland. Leg form in that Yurchenko half, but nice control on landing.
We should have a final unofficial total for Maryland here momentarily. Exhibition bars now. Maddie Hall for NC State.
And Campbell Marr getting set here on beam for Penn. Oh, no. I was just gonna say, wow, she's going for that handstand. Just over on it, couldn't hang on. Pretty extension in that handspring layout step out. Nice double pike to finish on floor. Cat leap aerial for Marr.
Getting back to finish the bars routine there for Hall.
Yeah, just
after coming off.
Yeah, tough break for her. Let's see if Marr can get this dismount, handspring, gainer full, just a baby hop, but you can see why she is the Penn record holder, co-record holder with sister McKaylee Marr on that event.
Yeah, two phenomenal gymnasts to watch over the last now 5 or 6 years for Penn. McKaylee Marr finishing her career at Michigan. gives you some idea of the level of talent.
Absolutely. If you wonder what the level of talent in the Ivy League is, I've been so impressed with how it's come up. McKaylee Marr anchored the Michigan Bar lineup last weekend, counted her score. So really great to see that.
All right, we've got two routines left, after Summer Ruskey ties her season best, 9.85 on floor. Up fifth for Temple, Peyton Monk.
And Peyton is one of those athletes that I'm so impressed with her comfort in performing on floor so early in her NCAA career. You can tell she really enjoys it. Big front through to double pike. Maddie Perkins on beam here for Penn. A little leg form in the air on floor, but controls the landing nicely. She's so fun to watch on floor. Goes for that difficult ring jump. You know, it's a check on landing, but I love that she's going for that. She's lacking some rotation on that aerial, was a little shy. Just the hop back, a lot of promise there. One of those first years, another 3-star recruit from College Gym News, as rated by College Gym News, and she's only competed on vault in the scoring lineup so far. And again, there were some hesitations in that routine, and I think that's normal the first time you're competing beam, but a lot of promise.
Absolutely, and again, we've seen Penn continue to rotate into their lineups here, even as we've turned the calendar into the second week of March, showcasing some of that depth. And they're going to have to showcase some of the depth here without Sky Carrico in the anchor spot, scratched from this beam lineup. Alicia Warren moving into that 6th position. And now Brooke Donabedian getting ready to compete for Temple on floor, always a highlight.
Yeah, you know, I love to watch Brooke on floor. To me, the definition of artistry in NCAA gymnastics. Gorgeous twisting form, toe point in the layout step out. Maybe not quite as dynamic as some of the layout step outs we saw earlier, but just so pretty in the air.
And Christina talked about the significance of this routine for Donabedian, needing some more 9-9 scores or in that vicinity to try to solidify her positioning as a potential regionals competitor.
Fight to stay on in that aerial on beam from Orlin. pretty front double full to close there. Whirling getting ready for her dismount here. Or sorry, her series, excuse me. Even though she was not slated to go in the scoring lineup, just so much grit throughout this routine. Little step forward, hangs on to it, good for her.
Oh, excellent job by Whirling stepping up there in adverse circumstances for Penn, and believe we are still expecting an exhibition from Jordan Barrow. Likewise for Temple, an exhibition from Gianna Silva, who has not yet competed as a freshman for the Owls. Well, we talked about that race to 197, and Maryland got there, 197.050, so look out. Maryland 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back 197 scores on the road, and they are, sure enough, peaking at the right time.
Absolutely, and remember the way that NQS scoring works. Of course, top 3 road scores and the next highest 3 home or away. Then you drop that top score. So what's exciting for Maryland is they got that 197.3 on the road, and so now they're going to count this 197 towards their NQS. It is not their top score of the season. Knocking out that mid 195, they're going to be thrilled.
Yeah, so just a little bit of shorthand. They're going to go up by about 1.5 points on the raw score, divide by 5. They're going to go up about 0.3 in NQS, which is an enormous leap forward. That's as close to real-time math as I'm going to try to do. I'm going to leave it to the experts. Check out tomorrow's daily rankings, but Maryland is going to be shooting up with a green arrow next to their names. We've got Silva here in exhibition for Temple.
And Barrow, Jordan Barrow in exhibition for Penn. Cool combination, front toss to back handspring. And another area where we saw this from a couple of gymnasts earlier was not all the way secure in that first element, so repeats it. A little step. Again, I think she's an athlete to watch. Exciting to see her on some additional events tonight and this afternoon, I should say, in exhibition. A little lack of control in that Rudy, but great first time out.
And with that, we have concluded this afternoon's competition. And as we sit here, Christina, we're a couple weeks away from conference championships for some of these teams, though a few more meets than that, some double meet weekends. In fact, Temple, we should remind you, is back home on Sunday. Our good friends Andrew Luftglass and Lauren Capone will have the call right here on ESPN+. That is a 2:30 p.m. start time. It is a home quad for Temple. They will take on LIU, Westchester, and William & Mary, so we hope that you'll wrap up your weekend with us as well. But Maryland, 197.050 on the road, second highest score of the year. It'll be their highest counting score toward their NQS. Temple, 195.450 is their third highest score of the year. NC State gets a 196.775. Could have been a little bit higher if one or two things had shaken out differently, but again, a score that's going to help with their NQS, excuse me. Maybe not as much as they might have liked, but still a road score in the high 196s, not going to hurt them at all, and Penn with a 194.375. Unfortunately, having to count that fall on bars just took them out of it today. Yeah,
you know, I think that Penn is probably, of these teams, the one that's not going to be dissatisfied with their performance. I think, obviously for Maryland, hitting 197 197 for the second time. Remember, this is the third time they competed in a week. So, you know, it really is impressive what they are doing. They do have a meet. In fact, all 4 of these teams competing on Sunday. So I think the extra day gives it a little bit more leeway because you have that extra day of rest. But for Penn, you know, they're really trying to peak at GECs, trying to defend that title, and with performances that schools like Yale have put up recently in the 195s, I certainly expect the GEC will be won with a score in the 195s. And for, you know, Temple the same, coming into Eagle, probably 196 in that range. Towson's broken 197 this season, so really anything could happen.
Well, absolutely, and you could look at these 4 teams that competed here. 2, 3, 4 maybe have conference titles in a couple of weeks. You don't know. It's part of the excitement of it, and we got to see some great gymnastics here this afternoon, and that is going to do it for us today. Your final scores: NC State takes second, 196-775. Maryland in first, 197-050. The Owls at home in third, 195-450. Penn in fourth, 194-375. That's going to do it for us. For my partner, Christina Chauvenet, I'm Kevin Kopp saying so long, everyone, from McGonigal Hall. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.